Hi everyone, welcome to the LY show, the Waiting Out COVID-19 series. I'm Li Ying. Wherever you are, we hope you are safe and well. In today's episode, we continue to talk to people about how they cope with this pandemic. Today, we're very lucky to have Ezra joining us from Israel. Hi, Ezra.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. It's a very nice Saturday morning here in Israel, but we are still under confinement, so the streets are very quiet. We can hear the birds singing, something you don't really hear in a usual day. So it's a quiet spring day here in Israel.
Great. And how long have you been practicing social distancing in Israel?
About a month, but in Israel it came very gradually. Like they started by closing conventions and things with like 5,000 people, and then they moved down to 1,000 people, and then to 100 people, and then to 10 people, and then to 5 people, and now it's like a couple. You are supposed to be only with your integral family. So we don't.
All
So
right.
it was very gradual. Every few days they kind of added another restriction. So we are still into the process.
All right. So does it make it easier? I mean, since it's a gradual change, it's not like a dramatic change.
Not really, because like kind of you don't know what to expect next week. Like every few days you have, in the news, they said, okay, we'll give you the new restrictions for today. So it feels like, tightening up and closing up. And so actually, I think it does put people in some stress because you don't know what to expect.
All right. So currently, where are you? And I mean, where do you live?
I live in a village. It's about 40 kilometers out of Tel Aviv. It's a quiet village with about a few hundred people. We do grow many flowers here. So the village is surrounded by fields of flowers. Here I can show you, for example, a few flowers that we grow in my village. Here I got a bouquet of flowers yesterday from the field.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it's very much into flower industry. And also they have vegetables and some nature and avocado trees, but plenty of avocados. So now these days I kind of, go sometimes to the field and collect some of the food. So it's a beautiful place.
So it's beautiful outside, and then you're staying inside most of the time. How do you feel about it?
It's because I kind of a little break the rule because I go to the field to walk for a couple of hours a day. I think it's not really dangerous because you don't almost meet nobody. Maybe a few joggers and a few people like me. It's a bit frustrating to to stay outside because from here, if I want to visit friends, usually I drive out and I go to visit friends in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is a big city, like 40 kilometers away. And now I cannot do it. And also we have here the problem that many people, take care of their old parents. So they need even more to be careful. Like for myself, I'm lucky because it's like my brother who's taking care of my parents. So I feel a bit more free. But, it's very hard because I'm a very social person. And so it's very hard for me, that kind of to be away from friends.
I see. All right. So most of the time you just walk in the village where you don't see a lot of people, huh?
Yeah, if I walk, I mean, most of the day I'm actually at home. I'm doing some computer work, I'm relaxing, I'm reading. I try to figure out that, doing this confinement, so everything that in normal life used to take me like 10 minutes can now take me like an hour. Like even doing the laundry, you take time, you fold every t-shirt, doing the dishes, washing the dishes in never-ending task. And, so I take things like, everything is like a bit in slow motion. So I do a lot of work on my computer, But I watch movies, you know, they kind of indoor, but they do try to go outside for about 2 or 3 hours a day, just, you know, to breathe some air. Otherwise, I'll be, and also to work out, you know, to do some walks, and so to move my body a bit.
Mhm. Are you the most active person in that village?
I don't know, because I see some joggers. I mean, I don't feel like running. I don't like running. I prefer hiking and walking. So I'm kind of more this type of person, but I see some joggers, you know, running around, but not that many.
How's your family doing?
So it's very strange. Like my mother lives in a big city in Jerusalem, so she's really confined. And we decided as a family that like it's only my brother who's taking care of her and, you know, buying food for her and, you know, making sure she has everything she needs. My sister is also sick, so she's all the time confined. So she sometimes come and visit my mother. Well, I have one brother in the US, so it's a different story. And me, like my children, I am divorced. So I have my ex-wife and I have 2 children. So my ex-wife is she's a bit behaving like me. She's also mostly at home, but she's going, you know, once in a while outside. She lives in a small city about 60 kilometers away. So she can also sneak out to the fields, maybe even to the beach. And my kids, you know, they're at home, and like they watch a lot of TV and movies, and, you know, do things like this. But we do try to get a bit out. My daughter is a dog walker, so that's basically a profession right now, to take dogs for walks. So she has much less work because people now take the dogs, you know, and walk with themselves. But she do still have a few dogs, you know, that she has to walk around. And my son is basically mostly home, but I think he has a fiance in Jerusalem, so he went to visit her for this weekend.
When was the last time you saw your family?
Oh, yesterday night I went for. I took my car, and I wish there were no you know, kind of police on the way, and I managed to get there. And actually, you're allowed in Israel with a blockage to transfer children of divorced families between the father and the mother. So I take my divorce documents, and if the police will stop me, I will tell them, you know, I'm divorced and I have to see my children. It's not 100% legal because it's supposed to be only for children up to 18. My children are a bit older, they're in their 20s, but I think it will be fine.
I see. I see. What's the situation in Israel with regards to the virus? I mean, in terms of cases who got impacted?
Yeah, we have about 6,000 or 7,000 cases. It's a very small country. I mean, if Israel is about, let's say, 8 million people, so let's say it's 1% of, less than 1% of China. So we have 7,000 cases, which will, if we scale it to China, it will be like 700,000 or like a million cases in China. So it's a high percentage. We have about 40 people dead. So it's like, if I scale it to China, it will be like 5,000 people dead. So we are affected by the virus quite intensely, but we are number, I think, 18 or something like that in the world. It's also, but it happens also in, especially in some ultra religious cities, where people are living, you know, it's much more denser population, and people live one on top of the other. And for Orthodox Jews, part of the religion is like being together, like they pray together every day, and they're very much together with big families. So for them, it's much harder, you know, to break apart and to have social distancing, and we not always manage to do it. So they are much more affected with the virus. But basically, you have quite a lot. I mean, I live in a village. In my village, as far as I know, there's no cases. but in like a kilometer away from here, there's a small city, and I think they have 11 cases on, a city of like 1,000 people.
And do you think the situation would be better?
Not very quickly, because the government is not very well organized. Like, if they don't do enough tests, and even if they test somebody, it takes them time to, take that person's ill away and find a hotel or find a place for it. So the government is not working extremely efficiently, so I think it will take some time. On the other hand, it's getting warmer now every day, so maybe the virus is affected by temperature, and that will kind of reduce the number of infections.
How do the general public react to the virus?
So from what I see from my friends, it depends very much on the internal character of the person. I mean, people were very paranoid in a way, and are always scared of something. So now they have a reason to be much more scared. People who are very passive stay even more passive. People who are actually active became more active. People who try to think out of the box and they go out more. So I see like between my friends and relatives, a much bigger variety of, of behaviors, from people who are very afraid to people who are very out of the box and kind of ignore it. And it's very much depends on your internal personality.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you know anyone personally who got infected?
Yes, I know one person who used to be in my hiking group. We hiked together about a month and a half ago. I sent you a few pictures of it. And he got infected. He's also leading tours to Egypt. So I don't know if he led a tour or met somebody who was in one of those tours. Luckily, he met him after, we hiked together. And he got infected and he got hospitalized. But it's not a very good friend. I mean, just someone I know from hiking group. My follow is still in hospital and he cannot speak much, so I couldn't talk to him.
So what is his condition now?
He's okay. He's kind of improving. I mean, I don't know. It's day by day because, like, I tried to call him and he refused to talk. It was hard for him. So there's one person from the hiking group that is in touch with him, and she wrote a few days ago that he's much better, but still cannot talk much.
How did you feel when you heard about the fact that he got infected?
I mean, it was sad to see because the first thing is also he was infected and it took him a day or two till he was recognized as a victim. So he was at home and he felt miserable about it. And also, I kind of, a bit was afraid that maybe he got it, before we met. But then, I kind of, I pity him, but I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm not very close to him and just kind of know him a bit. So, and I tried to call him to know about more when I couldn't. So it's hard to, put your feelings when you don't really know what the situation is.
Mm-hmm. All right. So knowing someone getting infected, does that affect you in any way?
A bit. I mean, I'm not so much afraid of getting infected because I think I'm still young and healthy. So I think I can pass it. Because we don't have many tests, you never know. Maybe I'm infected, because I'm coughing a bit and, but I'm coughing all the time. So you never know. And kind of I wish that if I'm infected, it will be easy. And I'm not that afraid. I try to, be cautious, but not crazy. Like still going to work, still meeting my family, still meeting a friend here and there. So, to kind of keeping my mental health as much as I keep my, my physical health.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you follow the news on the virus every day?
Yes, definitely. I follow it quite a lot. I mean, I'm reading it especially by internet because then I can, read more. And I follow the news sites in the internet. both the local one and also I look at the numbers, you know, the global numbers to see what's happening in the world all the time. I try to follow the story. I have also my strong opinions about it. So it's interesting to talk about. And we talk about it like every day with many people.
Mm-hmm. All right. How long do you think you need to be like sort of like a quarantined or doing what you're doing now?
It will last at least 2 or 3 weeks, especially when next week is spring holiday. So the government will have no intention to stop the quarantining before the end of the spring holiday. Uh, it very much depends on the behavior of the government. I mean, I even try to write a statement about it, but if they will add much more tests, then they can release people easily, you know, like just ask people to take a test, see if they're clean, and if they're clean, you know, give them a green pass for at least a few days, and we can this way, you know, release people. You can also do tests to see if you were infected and you're now having antigens for it and you are vaccinated in a way for it. So there are plenty of things you can do by testing. So it's all question of how many tests this government can do and how effectively this government can be organized to quarantine the sick people and put them in hotels or things like this. So it's much depends in this, much more than, you know, natural behavior of the virus. And I'm not very happy with our government these days because I don't think they're efficient enough. So I think it will take at least 3 weeks before they'll start to open up. I also,
What about?
I'm also thinking that, you know, in some case, people will kind of lose their patience and, you know, will try to break free out of this curfew. So the government will lose control in a way.
So right now, do people like, you know, voice their opinions on anything online?
Yeah, online we do voice a lot. There are plenty of voices. Meanwhile, the people who are scared from the virus, their voice is a bit higher up. I think in a certain time, you know, it will kind of it will switch. The thing is, here people are not very obedient. So if you know the people will feel like, you know, it's kind of too much, will try to break free, and the government will lose a bit control. But now people are still very much afraid, so they kind of try to keep it moving.
So do you work from home now?
Yeah, I do work from home. I just started a new job, so it's kind of very hard to start a new job when, you know, you can't meet anybody. But I do try to read as much as I can and study as much as I can, and, you know, try to focus on this term of work. And my boss agrees that I'm kind of more into studying phase and to actually delivery phase.
So when you do find some time to go out in the village, walking or, you know, picking fruits, when you meet people, yeah, do you interact with people?
I sometimes, you know, we have a joke that, you know, that when you meet somebody in the field, like both of you, you know, you're breaking the law a bit. So someone wrote in one of the forums, but it's like, you know, two guys meeting in the strip club, you know, and both of them know they don't do the right thing, but they say kind of a distance high and, you know, smile to each other and go on. So you have a bit this feeling. On the other hand, it's sometimes very nice to see when you walk in the streets around, in the fields around, that you see many young families that, you know, they will never take their children to the fields around the village. They will go to a shopping mall or, you know, to some kind of children activity. Now, because everything is closed, so it's like the first time they take the children out to the nature. So it's nice to see these type of people as well, you know, to see them around.
All right. So what's the biggest challenge for you to stay at home at the moment?
The biggest challenge is exactly to keep my social life active in a way, like to talk to phone to friends, to see how I keep balancing it. Since I'm alone, so I don't have a partner, I don't have a lover, so you know, try to still keep balancing this aspect, to be more intimate, you know, at least, or even in phone conversation with my friends. With also economical challenges. I just started this new job. I hope I can keep it and see how, and be and somehow be productive. Yeah, to try to, to figure to some kind of balance, things they want to study, and I'm also studying now to be tour guide to take groups to different countries. So I have to do some work on that. So kind of balancing, in one hand, my work and things that I want to achieve. And on the other hand, the general atmosphere of kind of relaxed, shanty, kind of vacation type like style, where you wake up at 9 and, don't do much the whole day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So, what's the first thing that you want to do when it's all over?
I think I want to go to the beach, meet friends, have a good beer with friends. I think sit on the watch the sunset on the beach, with some good friends, with a good, kind of a good pint of beer.
Okay. I mean, like since now, okay, there's a lot of free time. Do you start thinking about, things that you have never thought about? Because like when you have some free time, you tend to think.
Yeah. I try to think. It's kind of something that I have over the last couple of months, to be more focused, to be more direct about what I want, what I need. Especially now when I have to do it online, so you cannot use body language. So I have to learn how to ask what I want, to be more precise. So I'm thinking about, putting that aspect more in my life, to be more content with myself, which is to be more balanced in terms of how many times I go out and how many times, I stay at home, and what do I do with myself. So I try to focus on those two things, to try to be more, to try to be more focused both in my professional life and more in my personal life.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I hope that everything will be very, how to say, everything will be over very soon, and it seems like you're doing well. And is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed with, the Chinese way of dealing with this virus. So it's very interesting for me to learn what exactly happening daily in China and in other countries. I'm very happy with what you're doing, in terms of a video. I really wait to see all these, interviews with people from different countries and to get a different experiences. Because I think that, this epidemic, kind of will put the world in a different position where it was before. So I'm very curious to see what opportunities I'll have, and, how it will affect my life in the long term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, and stay safe and well.
Yeah, and
We will.
I hope that soon you'll be able to fly again from China to Israel, and maybe now it's your time to come and visit me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm
Yeah,
always curious about what it is like there,
yeah, I'm happy I have a place here, and I'm happy to host you here. It'll be great to
All
see you.
right. Yeah. Thank you so much, and stay
Okay,
well. All
okay,
right.
ciao.
Bye-bye.
Have a good
Take
time.
care.
Bye.
Yeah.